We already know that the kernel manages all of the hardware on the system, so what can we use to query the kernel to find detailed information about our hardware? Red Hat Enterprise Linux comes with a variety of tools that we can utilize to parse this information. Knowing particular details about the system's hardware can be helpful in troubleshooting driver issues or hardware failures. Oftentimes, a hardware vendor may need to know the exact make, model, and firmware version of an installed piece of hardware to assist with troubleshooting an issue. The first command we will look at is the dmessage command. The dmessage command prints out the contents of the var log dmessage file. This file contains the details of the system hardware detected by the kernel. The output is rather long, so we will pipe it to the less command. As you can see, this is some rather in-depth information about the hardware the kernel detects during boot up. What if you only want information about certain areas of your system, such as your PCI bus? For that purpose, we have the lspci command. The lspci command will just show the basic information about the devices connected to your PCI bus. If you want to know what kernel modules are loaded for a particular piece of hardware, we can use the -k option. Here, you can see the PCI device itself, and below that the kernel module that has been loaded to work with that particular device. We can also view all of our system's USB device information with the lsusb command. By itself, the lsusb command displays the USB buses on the system and any devices that are connected to it. We can also view our USB buses and devices in a tree mode, showing the hierarchy of how the devices are connected. One other command that we have available to us is the DMI decode command. The DMI decode command lets us look at detailed information about the various components of our system, such as our CPU, the RAM we have installed, the system BIOS, the installed motherboard, and more. The DMI decode command by itself will display everything by default, but we can query for specific hardware devices by specifying its type. We do this with the -t option. Let's look at the details of our CPU. And here we can see some detailed information about our processor, such as the manufacturer, the speed, and some other details. Another command that we can use to find out some details about our processor is the x86 info command. And we are presented with a brief overview of our processor. Take a look at the man pages for the commands presented here to see some of the other information that you can learn about your system's hardware devices. In a later video, we will take a look at the files that these commands parse this information from.